So coming back to Ganoderma, you told me it's an edible mushroom.
Yeah, mushroom,
Now, people including myself, we have an apprehension about mushrooms.
Yes,
because a lot of species within mushrooms are poisonous, and even edible mushrooms seem to have a side effect in the long run.
Yeah.
Nothing like that for Ganoderma?
Yeah. So I think there's an interesting question. You see, mushroom basically is a mini, phyto factory, you know.
Right.
A single mushroom may have 200 to 300 active elements.
Really?
But basically, we classify mushroom into two broad categories, edible and non-edible. Okay, non-edible, of course, they contain some poisonous mushroom. But those edible mushroom, like this button mushroom, like oyster mushroom, like shiitake, and also like the milk mushroom and Ganoderma, so they are under this safer edible group. So you can consume for a long time, there wouldn't be any side effect on that. And on top of that, actually, scientists have studied Ganoderma for more than 50 years.
Right.
So they have been studied to feed this Ganoderma to many animals like these mice and everything.
Right.
So we studied the long-term effect on kidney and liver and everything. And we found that not only that it would not have any adverse effect on liver and kidney, but actually it can regulate and maintain it in a good condition. And DXN, we also made a lot of this toxicity tests on this thing. So we put two groups of these animals. One group we feed with this Ganoderma, another group we put a control group. So after study, we find that the group that is consuming Ganoderma live much longer.
Really?
50% or 100% longer than the other groups. Secondly, so we do some autopsy,
right,
to take the slices from the liver and from the kidney and examine under microscope. So those taking Ganoderma are free from parasites, are free from this black dot and everything. Those who do not take Ganoderma, sometimes you can see parasites and some accumulation of toxin. So actually, to say that Ganoderma is harmful to liver and kidney is unfounded. This is the thing.
So have the results been the same in the case of humans as in animals? Yes.
Human, you see, we are not started to consuming Ganoderma lately, you know. Ganoderma has been consumed for more than 3,000 years.
Is that so?
Yeah. And in DXN, we already have 15 years of history, you know. Started from this thing, consumption on this thing. Even in the market, we already more than 10 years. So there are many people who consume the Ganoderma for the past 10 or 15 years. So we have a very healthy body. So when we go for medical checkup, nothing is wrong with the body. So there is a long standing, there's a long test on that. I think it's quite safe to take in long term.
Now, from the very limited research I have done prior to this interview, I've come to know that there is wild Ganoderma and there is DXN zone Ganoderma.
Yeah.
Is there a difference?
There is a difference. You see, when Ganoderma basically is a reproduction organs of this mushroom, the fruit's body. So all the nutrition is stored in the spores. So we must collect the Ganoderma when the spore is just ripe before it's dispersed to the surrounding. The problem with wild Ganoderma, many of the spores already dispersed out. So we only having the fibers, is one thing. So the therapeutics or the effects of nutrition is not that good. Secondly, wild Ganoderma, sometimes contaminated. Some fungus or some these poisonous fungus may symbiosis or may live on top of it. So that's quite harmful to the human body. So if we cultivate it in an organic way, so in a controlled way, so it will be much more hygienic. Is one thing. Then we can harvest the Ganoderma at the time when the spore is just ripe, so to have the maximum potency for the products.
So is there a processing phase between the cultivation of Ganoderma and the actual supply of the product?
Yeah. So actually Ganoderma, to cultivate Ganoderma until the market range, there are three phases, First is the spawn, preparation of spawn, I mean the seeding, using a tissue culture. So after that we put into the bags, poly bags and everything. So we cultivate, it takes about 90 days for maturity. So after that we harvest the Ganoderma, we must go for this dehydration, put it into a dehydration chamber, this thing. So low temperature dehydration, then we crush the Ganoderma using this crusher. Now we must understand, when we consume Ganoderma, we do not consume the whole Ganoderma. We only want the spores and some active ingredients. Because spores is most of the nutrition. Yeah, is inside it. So we crush the Ganoderma. We put into a centrifugal machine, turn it at a high speed. So the spore will float in the middle. So those fiber will go to the side. So we extract it out. then we grind and put into capsule.
Okay.
So this technology have two salient features. First, we do not use any heat from the beginning to the end. We do not use